Good luck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to FoundFlix. On this Ending Explained, we're looking at Final Destination Bloodlines. We're plagued by a recurring violent nightmare. A college student returns home to find the one person who can break the cycle and save her family from the horrific fate that inevitably awaits them. I'm not sure why it took like 15 years to get a new entry in the always entertaining Final Destination series, but Bloodlines is well worth the wait. I really have enjoyed the series overall. Certainly 4 is the weakest of the bunch, but Bloodlines excels at what fans love about the series, mainly gruesome and complicated death scenarios, while also adding some interesting twists here that keep things fresh. And the opening disaster set at a high-rise restaurant might actually be my favorite of the entire bunch. The filmmakers really nailed this one, and I'm glad to see the franchise is back and better than ever. So let's check out Final Destination Bloodlines, breaking down the story including the various intricate deaths, some fun Easter egg references to the other movies, and explaining the ending along with my theory on where things could go in the recently confirmed Part 7. Back in the 60s, young couple in love, Iris and Paul, are rolling down the road. There's already hints of approaching doom, starting with Bad Moon on the Rise on the radio, followed right by Ring of Fire. Love is a burning thing, Cash sings. They pull up to a quite impressive building, the Sky View, stretching high into the sky. He's pulled some favors to get them in for opening night. Iris notices some others milling around and is worried that she's not dressed up enough. A guard catches some little shit snatching coins from a fountain and reminds him, "Don't do that, you know that's bad luck." Oh, that coin, if you only knew. The place is impressively retro-futuristic inside, and everyone piles on the elevator. That same kid cuts in line, and despite it being stuffed, the operator tells the couple to hop aboard as well. Already there's some issues. The door doesn't close all the way. Oh, it does that sometimes, the guy dismisses. As they rocket towards the top, the height starts getting to Iris. The guy reveals they actually finished the project 5 months early. Is that a good thing, Iris wonders? Nope, construction projects never finish early. The ground gets further away, and the doors continue to slightly rattle. That little turd starts stomping on the glass floor with a smirk. That kid's gonna do something terrible, you can just feel it. Paul is turned away by the maitre d' despite him having an in with some guy. He is told to move along, only for some other guy to show up, and of course they got a table for him already, no problem. They elect to head over to the bar, and Iris looks out the full-length windows. She takes a step back and explains to Paul that she's never been up this high before. He feels that things aren't going well, and Iris warmly assures him as long as he's here, things are all good. She grabs a flower and pins it on his jacket, getting pricked by the thorn. She stares out again and gets overwhelmed, excusing herself to the restroom. As Iris makes her way through a dancing crowd, death begins another of its intricate designs. A popped cork hits a chandelier, and the crowd is really getting down. On the glass dance floor, good choice, a piece drops and lands, making a small crack in the glass. The band finishes up, and a singer checks on her son just off stage. She can sense what's up with Iris, asking how far along she is. I'm not, Iris deflects, but admits, well, maybe a few months along. She congratulates her. It is good news, right? Iris agrees. The thing is, she hasn't told Paul yet. The singer asked, well, does he love you? Yep, well then he won't ever let you go. Paul swoops her to the observation deck at the very tippy top of the building. Fuck that. That kid is tossing coins off the side and gets scolded. That could kill someone, you know? Paul bends the knee and proposes to Iris, and she reveals about the bun in the oven. Paul is surprised but excited. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, he beams. The kid does toss a coin off, and the wind catches it, sending it into the AV vents, where it gets perfectly stuck into a fan blade. They told you. The dance floor is really bumping now. Everyone into the performance of Shout. I mean, stamping hard on that glass. They build up a little bit louder now as gas starts pouring in through the vents. Things accelerate. Bolts starting to fly off a support beam. A chef flambe something, and prime rib. Things get more intense, and the glass shatters, sending people tumbling to their dooms. The valets below are listening to Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which becomes true in a twisted sense. Bodies raining down and exploding on impact. Poor Paul is hanging on to a giant glass shard for dear life. He can't hold on any longer and plummets below. A chef is still foolishly flambeing and catches a lady on fire. She passes the gas in the vents, creating a massive explosion. The singer lady gets torched, but she is able to get her kid to safety in time. Everyone makes a beeline for the stairs, and the little shit pushes through the others. The entire thing crumbles into oblivion, and only the kid makes it across. Great. More try the elevator, and it's already way too many people on board. The maitre d' attempts to force his way in, but sorry, we're at capacity, jerky, ha. He still tries to shoehorn his way in. The doors close, and the car is sent free, cutting the guy clean in half. Well, too bad, jerk. Iris stumbles through the mayhem, and things start to roll right over. The whole building is gonna fall right off. off. The ceiling cracks and the entire side of it starts sloughing away. And there's a grand piano teetering precariously up above. That same coin lands rattling on its surface, and that does it, setting the piano flying. The kid is the only one to make it to the ground floor, boasting a shit-eating grin. He does get what's coming to him, the piano squishing him. Thank goodness. The penny rolls after and falls right back into the fountain where it started. Woo-wee, that is one busy penny. There's not much of the building to go, and only Iris seems left. She remembers the ring and gets teary-eyed. The boy emerges from the cabinet and she rushes to his aid. They make a triumphant leap just as the rest of the building is just gone. The only thing keeping her attached is a ring stuck between two nails. Her skin begins peeling away and the pair fall, Iris getting impaled on a spike. Typically after one of these premonitions, things rewind and Iris would prevent the accident, but here we jump ahead to present day, where college student Steph wakes up from her dream in class. The nightmare is ruining her life, and she can't get any sleep. Steph does hear the name Iris in her dream and knows that's her grandma, but she hasn't even met her. Her roomie tells her to go home and find out what she can about her grandma. Hopefully that will stop the dream. Steph's mom also left the family at some point, leaving her dad and brother Charlie on their own. She asked her dad about a box of mom's old stuff, but he threw it all out a while ago. What is she up to anyway? Steph spills that she's looking for Iris, which her pops does find strange. Charlie is off to their cousins, and dad pleads to not ask Uncle Howard about Iris. She and Charlie drive over there together, and she admits that she's on academic probation, but don't tell dad. Basically, if she doesn't get her grades up soon, she's gonna get kicked out of school. At her cousins, we meet, well, the cousins, Eric, Julia, and Bobby. It sounds like Steph has drifted from her family since college, learning that her bro has a prom date, and her and Julia used to be closer as well. Well, there's work to be done. Howard is cagey about his mother, but they do get real quiet when she mentions the Skyview. Did Iris tell her about that? Nope, it's all in the dream. Regardless, they want nothing to do with her, calling her a disturbed woman, and also blame her for Steph's mom going nuts too. Howard recounts that when their dad died, Iris just snapped. She wouldn't let them leave the house and forced them to stay inside. She was obsessed about all the horrific ways they could die. It got bad enough the state actually took the siblings away. But things didn't end there. Iris tracked them down and sent letters with obituaries and pictures of bodies. They moved again so that she could no longer find them. Howard gets grave. Stay away from her for your own good. He leaves and she pleads with Brenda to help. Her life is falling apart because of this dadgum dream. She relents with a sigh and reveals where they have some old stuff of hers. Inside there's several letters, even including a photo taken outside the restaurant. Steph drives to the address, coming to a formidable compound with a massive gate and makeshift barricades. She tries a call box and a gruff voice tells her to fuck off out of here. That changes when she explains their relation, and Iris instructs her to put all of her stuff into a cubby. She stays guarded until she gets a good look at her and is taken aback. My god, it really is you. Steph moves forward and she grunts to stop right there. Don't move until I tell you. She looks off towards something, saying, you trying to trick me, huh? Clearly she's been dealing with death long enough that she sees it as an antagonist. Also, she's gone a little nuts as well too, yeah. They take a seat and Steph reveals about the dream with the explosion and everything. Iris remembers it well. It did indeed happen, and that was her premonition. She got a glimpse into what death was just about to do. We then go back to that moment and pick up where they're on the observation deck and Paul is about to propose. Iris can sense that something isn't right. Everyone is gonna die. She snatches the penny from the kid. While inside, the band starts to sing Shout, and she knows what's coming soon. She takes over the stage, yelling to get off the dance floor. She is dragged away, but see that she was right. The premonition did work, and she saved a lot of people that night. Hard luck for the Skyview though, as it never reopened and eventually was torn down. Well, it's good she saved all those people, but as we know, death doesn't like it when you mess with its designs. Over time, it came back for everyone that was supposed to die, including her beloved Paul. Yep, death came back, and she's been able to anticipate its moves for decades now. There's still no escaping it in the end, as she was recently diagnosed with cancer. That was 2 months ago, which is also when Steph started having her dream. The two are certainly connected. Iris notices a magnifying glass starting to sizzle a rope and stops the impending death machine. She tells her that it is death that she's speaking with. It's trying to catch her off guard because she's here. She hands over an overstuffed book full of crazed scribblings. It's all a bit much for Steph, and she excuses she has to leave. Iris warns, you can't. Death is coming for our family. Steph goes to leave anyway, and Iris begs to just take the book, but is stopped right at the threshold. Outside's too dangerous. Several images flash by, a fire extinguisher, a weather vane, and she knows that death is out to get her. Determined, she takes a step and shoves the book at her. Everything she needs to know to keep the family safe is in there. Steph still doesn't buy it, and there is a surefire way to show her seeing is believing. Iris takes a step, and the wind really starts starts going, a weather vane impaling her horrifically. Well, there you go. You know, it's not real. Could be a coincidence. At the funeral, Steph brings up what she said. Death is coming for us. That's crazy, right? Even crazier, the long-gone Darlene, Steph's mom, rolls up after years away. Her brother gives her a warm welcome, but Steph is not feeling the reunion. If she's gonna go to the barbecue, then I'm not. Clearly still upset for abandoning them, Charlie throws it back on her, bringing up her recent distance since she went to school. Julia and Charlie have called her a bunch of times, but Steph never responded. She's mad at her mom, but she hasn't been around either. I'm not like her, Steph thieves. I'm not crazy. Charlie agrees she's not crazy, it's just that she doesn't care. Ooh, ouch bro. The family gets things kicked off for the Q, showing a million different possibilities that could slay the entire clan. Most importantly, one piece of glass that doesn't get cleaned up and ends up in the ice bucket. Even Darlene shows up to everyone's surprise, also seeing Heist beer, the same from the earlier movies, named after Freddie Heist, who did stunts on the first film. Bobby makes a round of drinks and Howard toasts to family. Their mother lived alone until she died and wants her death to remind us to enjoy life. You gotta spend the time we have together because you're not getting any back. He toasts with an I love you and everyone takes a drink, wondering which is spiked with that shard. Julia takes a big gulp and begins to choke, but it was just a bug. Phew! Meanwhile, Steph is digging through the big book, coming to that infamous coin. There's drawings of various barbecue things like a grill or a lawnmower. There's also what looks like overt references to the highway sequence from FD2, as well as Flight 180 from the original. While back in the family, we just know something is gonna go awry, but where could it be is the question. A photo of the family drops and cracks on the ground, leaving a big shard as a clue. Steph then races to the house, passing a sign warning danger ahead. The fabric on the trampoline starts to tear, getting close to a rake underneath. Darlene spots the danger and removes the rake. Phew! Close again. Brenda knocks off a beer bottle and activates some kind of machine. Steph then arrives at the barbecue, taking in all the potential dangers. It's the shard that does it after all. Howard steps right on it. The rake falls and kicks a lawnmower on that mulches his head. After another death, Steph is starting to believe that Iris was right after all. She shows off an elaborate network of family trees over the decades, all the way down to their family line. Basically, Iris did save everyone at the Skyview, but over the years, death came back for each and every survivor. They weren't supposed to be alive, but there's so many families and people, it's taken years to get all that work done. Poor Death, working to the bone, buddy. And as is Death's style, everyone died in the same order people died originally at the Skyview, the very last being Iris. Well, and that kid. Now all that's left as Iris and her family, sans Brenda, since she isn't technically part of the bloodline. Since Howard was older, the next to die will be Eric, then Julia, then Bobby. After is Steph's family, her mom, her, and then Charlie. The others still aren't quite buying this whole elaborate death plan theory thing, and essentially refuse to even listen to her ramblings. Even her mom, who left the whole ass family because of all this stuff, I guess now thinks that it's not real, although it is convincing. Don't let Iris beliefs derail her like they did her. She grumbles thanks for the advice, but she doesn't need a mom anymore. The others all move on with their lives as Eric works at a tattoo and piercing shop. He has a bunch of ignored texts from Steph and pushes her away. Closing up for the night, he puts on some loud music, a Misfits guy wobbling from the heavy bass. He switches it up with a sad mix to mourn his papa and gives himself a tattoo of dad on his arm. The bass rumbles a figure right off and things are set into motion. Eric kicks back in the chair, knocking over a flammable liquid. The fan blades whir and gets wrapped in a hanging chain. It gets tighter and then flings loose, clipping right into his nose ring, tightening around the blades and pulling him up into the air. He struggles to fight against it and kicks something over, starting a fire. He hops onto the display case only for the glass to shatter. The fan breaks and the chain is set free, sending him swinging across the room. He lands right on a hot metal heart, branding himself. But did he survive? The shop in flames leads us to think no. The next day, Steph still hasn't heard from Eric and drags Charlie along to check on him. Turns out that he did survive, all thanks to his leather jacket. She's baffled. He should be dead. He's still not a believer. Or maybe death isn't coming for our family. He backs up, nearly getting plowed right into it by a truck. Maybe I'm invincible, he smirks and continues strolling down the street. Along the way, Steph eyes various seemingly normal things like a tree trimmer or kids playing soccer. Eric scoffs, how is that gonna kill him? And she imagines the trimmer falls, hits the leaf blower guy who blows dust at the kids, and then he gets a soccer ball in the face. Ooh, soccer ball, scary. Julia joins them and a garbage truck makes its rounds. Eric teases Steph's concerns, kissing and licking the truck, along with rubbing his crotch on it too. Okay then, what's gonna happen, huh? He's supposedly tempting death, but the truck just moves on without incident. Julia leaves to go on a run, and things immediately happen just as Steph saw earlier, resulting in Julia getting dumped into the garbage. The kids all try to wave the driver down, but he's listening to music and swiping on dating apps. Multitasking. Steph Steph is able to climb up on the side, reaching out for Julia. The others get the driver to stop, but it's too late. The compactor keeps going, and Julia gets crunched. Steph pulling up only her arm left behind. Well, now everyone believes her, and Steph blames herself. She somehow screwed up the order, but Brenda drops a bombshell. Howard isn't Eric's bio dad, but he's still half, right? Not sure how death determines that kind of stuff. Anyway, Bobby knows that he's next and wants Steph's help. She doesn't think that she can, but Charlie points out that she did know exactly what was going to happen with Julia. It's all in Iris's book. You just gotta put the pieces together like a math equation. They remember Iris mentioning a friend that was also able to cheat Death's design, a JB. Darlene remembers that name. He would write Iris letters and worked at a hospital, but she can't quite remember the name. Something River Hospital. Clear River, she thinks, referencing Ali Larter's character. Charlie was able to find it on his phone. The hospital is just an hour away. Ultimately, the whole gang decides to tag along, all piling into Darlene's RV. Steph is taken aback, seeing several family photos on Darlene's visor. It wasn't that she didn't care, but was taught by Iris to see death everywhere, and this put a strain on the kids. That's why she left. She shrugs, maybe it wasn't the right choice, but she is here for her now. At the hospital, they are easily able to track down JB, and it's none other than William John Bloodsworth, played by franchise staple Tony Todd. Here sadly in his last on-screen appearance, but this acts as a fitting tribute. He already knows each and every one of the family members by name, asking who's next, and everyone points to Bobby. They inquire how he knows Iris, and he was none other than that little boy she saved back of the Skyview, meaning that over the years Iris has been protecting him too. Iris tracked him down when he was older, and they became friends, exchanging ideas on how to continue to escape Death's designs. They also learned 2 certain ways to break the death cycle. If you kill someone else, you get whatever time they had left, but the only true way to break the cycle is to die. He specifically mentions Kimberly Corman, the protagonist of FD2. She drowned in an ambulance and technically died. She flatlined and then was able to be resuscitated. This broke the chain. Well, why didn't Iris try that? It is risky to fuck with death. If you lose, things get messy. They beg him for help, but JD is done. He's sick and is running out of time, just like Iris. Fact is, we're all gonna die. And he intends to enjoy the time that he has left, suggesting that they do the same. Life is precious, every second. You never know when death is coming. Now the plan is to do the Corman trick with Bobby, kill him and bring him back. The bros mull over the other option, kill someone and get their time. There's a group of fresh babies, and for a moment they consider, but no, that is way too far. Eric has an idea, knowing Bobby has a peanut allergy, that will get him some nuts. Just let his symptoms take over, meaning no EpiPen. They are in a hospital, so it shouldn't be a big deal to get him brought back. Easy peasy. There is some trouble with the vending machine, and Eric punches the glass in frustration. He refuses to give up and starts tipping over the massive machine. It is big enough to crush Bobby, but the Reese's cup merely tumbles out. They hole up in an MRI room to do the deed, but don't notice something falling that kicks the machine on. Bobby is worried. If this doesn't work, please look after his turtle. Eric, however, is confident. They're gonna fix everything and promises he's not gonna let him die. Well, you know, technically. Bob takes a bite of the forbidden cups, and he likes it. Initially, he doesn't feel anything. Maybe he outgrew the allergy. Then he starts choking and cannot breathe. He flails towards the EpiPen, and Eric holds it back. The MRI increases in power, ripping out all of Eric's various piercings, even his Prince Albert. Ouch! It gets to maximum magnet power, sucking up a wheelchair. It painfully pins Eric into the machine and crumples his body into a pretzel, the metal gouging through his body. Bobby is still struggling for the EpiPen, and it is not looking good. He does grab it and injects himself. A nurse pops in, and he's already feeling better, until that screw from the machine is unleashed and drills right into his forehead. The remaining family are unsure of where to go next, until they remember Iris's cabin. She survived there for decades and only died because she went outside. Darlene puts herself up to stay at the cabin. As long as she doesn't die, the kids will be okay. And Steph is the only one that can see death coming, so they're gonna have to work together. Yeah, family! The coin falls from the book and rolls right across into an old lady's path, who happily picks it up. Good luck, right? At the cabin, there's already a light box sparking, just waiting for something to go wrong. They bust through the gate successfully, but something breaks Steph's seatbelt, trapping her inside. Darlene opens the cabin door, and a single ember of fire flies in. That same pot falls and hits the gas line. She figures out what's going on just in time, slamming the door just as the cabin explodes. So much for that plan, there's no more cabin. Steph has fallen into some water, still stuck in the van. Charlie is trapped under some rubble, and his mom lends a hand. Darlene orders Charlie to help his sister. She's gonna stay alive as long as and a pole interrupts her with a smush. Charlie finds a knife and tries to cut the belt. He keeps working at it, and soon Steph goes limp. She comes to hacking but alive on land. What happened, she croaks, and it looks like their plan did work. She died and he brought her back. So they should be safe now, but Mom didn't make it. She saved us after all, Charlie declares, and they head home. Certain things are A-okay. The family tries to move on with their lives, and Charlie is off for his prom date. There, Steph attaches the boutonniere and pricks her finger just like her grandma did. Elsewhere, a little girl is selling lemonade, and that old lady from the hospital is parched. She busts out her coin purse, and the death penny rolls free. It rolls all the way down the stairs and gets lodged in a train track. The same car from the opening passes over the tracks. Uh-oh. Everything appears peaceful until they meet Ginny's doctor dad. He clarifies that Steph didn't actually die as her heart was still beating. She was just unconscious. So it actually changed Death's plans at all. The wind chime starts a tinkling, and the sounds of a train are heard roaring up. It goes off the rails and pinpoints the siblings, both running like hell. It comes to a stop, only nearly getting them. Then some logs appear and takes them both out. Well, you can't ever escape death, as we learned repeatedly in the series, but how this played out, I wonder if this was Steph's own premonition. We already know that part 7 is in the works, and I think this would be an interesting use of this ending as the beginning of the next one. A kind of twist on how things always reach a tragic end for all of our characters. I guess we'll see. That'll do it for this ending explained for Final Destination Bloodlines. Where do you rank it in the series? What do you hope to see in part 7? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for watching FoundFlix. See you next time.